let's say that there is a bird that flies past us at 2 meters per second. And this bird has a mass of 3 kilograms. This bird is then said to have a kinetic energy. And the kinetic energy, which we represent with the symbol K, is simply a type of energy that's associated with the state of motion of an object. So the faster the object moves, the greater its kinetic energy. And if the object has a greater mass, its kinetic energy will also be greater. And the equation for kinetic energy is given by K equals 1/2 mass times the velocity squared. And in this example, the 3 kilogram duck will have a kinetic energy of 1/2 times 3 kilograms times 2 meters per second squared. Simplifying that gives us 6 kilograms meters squared per second squared. And the unit for kinetic energy in all types of energy is the joule, a capital J. And 1 joule is simply equal to 1 kilogram meters squared per second squared. But let's say now we apply a force to the duck, or to whatever bird this is. We apply a force, and this will increase the kinetic energy. And if we, let's say, pull the bird to decelerate it to a lesser speed by applying a force, we're going to decrease the kinetic energy of the object. And in such a transfer of energy via a type of force, a work W is said to be done on the object by the force. And we can find the work done on the object by a force through this relationship, where the work is equal to the force times the displacement times the cosine of phi. So F is simply the constant force that is doing work, and this equation only holds for constant forces. And D is the displacement that the object goes through, and phi is the angle between the directions of the displacement D and the force F. So let's say the bird is moving this way along the x-axis through a displacement D. However, we're not applying a force F directly parallel to its motion. We're applying it at some angle phi above. So the work would be F d cos of phi. And we can see that cos of phi is greatest when phi is equal to 0, because cosine of 0 is simply equal to 1. So the work done by the force is greatest when both the displacement and the force are parallel to one another. And the work is smallest when they are at right angles to each other, because cosine of 90 degrees is simply equal to 0. So there will be 0 work done on the object if the force is perpendicular to its displacement. And we can also generalize this equation using the definition of the scalar dot product to say that work equals the vector of the force dotted with the vector of the displacement. And we can see that work is a scalar. However, we do notate positive and negative work. Positive work means that the force has a vector component in the same direction as the displacement, while negative work means that the force has a vector component in the opposite direction as the displacement. And we can also relate work to the kinetic energy through something known as the Work-kinetic energy theorem. Now, what is the work-kinetic energy theorem? So we can relate the work to the change in the kinetic energy of an object. So let's say we have the bird again, and we have the change in kinetic energy is equal to the final kinetic energy minus the initial kinetic energy. And this is equal to the work done on the bird. And we can also rewrite this as the final kinetic energy is equal to the initial kinetic energy plus the work done. And this just tells us that the kinetic energy after the net work is done is equal to the kinetic energy before the net work is done plus the net work done on the object. So we can now apply this to a problem. Let's say that there is a box, and there's one person that is pulling on the box at 40 degrees above the horizontal, while there is another person pushing the box at 30 degrees downward from the horizontal. And we're going to call this F1, which is equal to 12 newtons, and F2, which is equal to, let's say, 10 newtons. So we want to find the net work done on this box by forces F1 and F2 during a displacement D, which we're going to say is 8.5 meters. So using the equation W equals F dotted to D, we can find work done by force 1 and work done by force 2. So starting with work done by force 1, we get that W1 equals F1 D cosine of theta 1. And this is equal to 12 newtons times 8.5 meters times cosine of 30 degrees. And this is simply 88.3 joules once you calculate it out. Moving on to work 2, we get this is equal to force 2 times the same displacement, cosine of theta 2. And we get 10 newtons times 8.5 meters again, times cosine of 40 degrees. And calculating that, we get about 65.1 joules. And we can add them together to get something called the net work. The net work is simply the total of all the work done on the object. And adding them together, we get about 153.4 joules done on the box. This is an introduction to kinetic energy and work and how they are related to each other. I hope you guys have learned something new. Kinetic energies and energies in general are going to be very, very useful in solving problems where we just know the beginning and end state and don't really have to go through some of the kinematics that are related to complicated velocities and changes in velocities and accelerations. So kinetic energies will make it very easy for us, and we will see why in the next couple of videos.